Hello, everyone. It's William here at Allegory Gallery. Happy afternoon, evening, morning, wherever it is in your neck of the woods out there in the world. We thank you for joining us today. Today, we are going to go over some of the other goods that we have in the store other than beads and jewelry. So we're going to look at some African indigo mud cloths that we have available in store. Many of you have seen this one. This is the one that we've been collecting these for a long time. We love them. I actually have one that I use as a scarf whenever it gets cold. I didn't bring it with me today, and I should have because it's starting to snow out there. But this I use on our table whenever I do these little videos from here on this showroom floor. So we're going to show you some of those. I'm going to show you some of the tote bags that we have in stock right now. Now you can get these tote bags on Society 6 as well, but Society 6 is a little bit hard sometimes to find Andrew's items. So I'm going to show you the ones we have here, and we're going to look at those. We also have some artwork on the tote bags from Cynthia. So we're going to take a look at those as well. We have a few scarves around the store that we're going to take a look at. And after all that, if we have a little bit of time, maybe I'll show you some of the other kind of home goods type things, or maybe we'll save that for tomorrow. I talked so long yesterday, my phone went dead. So I don't want to have that happen again before we actually get to the end. So I think maybe we'll take a look at these. We'll take a look at the tote bags. We'll take a look at the scarves, and then we'll play it by ear. But I think that's going to be good for today. And then we'll take a look at more things maybe in the store tomorrow. I moved some of the things over to Star Cottage Studio that I was going to, as far as home goods wise. That's another reason I kind of want to wait, because I did move some things over to Star Cottage Studio. We were thinking about taking them to Tucson. In Tucson, we are presenting our booth as an experience, the Allegory Gallery experience, and we're trying to show a little bit of everything, that we do here at Allegory Gallery. So the people going to Tucson, there aren't a lot of bead stores around in the country anymore here in the US. And more and more of them are closing down their physical shops. A lot of them are going online only. We're trying our best to hang in there and, beat that curve. So we are going to try to give Tucson an idea of what Allegory Gallery is, the kind of things that we have. It's kind of like a mini Allegory Gallery. Andrew joked about having an Allegory Gallery West as he's going through the desert. He's finding some cute, really small towns and some places that are up for sale. Andrew's always looking for another building. So he's looking for some things out there, and we're having fun with the idea that we could have an Allegory Gallery East and an Allegory Gallery West. And in the winter, we close down the East and we open up the West, and in the summer we come back. And so it's a fun idea. I don't know that that'll be happening anytime soon, but you never know, right? You never know. Who knows? We're having an awfully hard time of it right now, but we're also in the middle of winter. If we were out in the desert in the middle of winter when things are a little bit warmer, who knows? Who knows what would be happening? So we are playing around with these fun ideas of that, but really the Tucson experience that we're doing is kind of like a mini Allegory Gallery West. And it's just kind of giving an idea of the kind of things we have. Andrew's going to have some art on the table. We're going to have our wooden pendants that we wholesale and also sell retail. We're going to have our enameling, many of the enameling pendants that we created and earrings that we created. We're going to have some Czech glass out there. We're going to have some Roman glass. We're going to have lots of things that kind of mimic it. I went through the store here. I picked some of our most favorite things and some of the things that we kind of feel are quintessential to the Allegory Gallery experience. And Andrew's going to have them on the table out there in Tucson. So we are definitely doing that. And if you're out there in Tucson, I hope you will stop by and check that out. But today, so anyway, saying all that, the reason I say all that is because some of the things that are quintessentially us and some of the artisan things that we have in the store that aren't beads are right now at Star Cottage because we couldn't fit everything that we wanted to take and still leave room for Green Girl Studios. So we had to do some careful elimination of some things, and I want to bring those back over to the store before I do a full kind of showing of the kind of home goods that we call it here that we have in the store. So today we're going to do mostly, you know, kind of cloth type goods. We're going to have some tote bags. We're going to have the African indigo mud cloths. I keep looking down because they're right here and I can't wait to show them to you. I don't think I've ever shown these really one at a time to you all. So that's going to be, I think, really cool. We have some tie cotton scarves we're going to show. We have another type of scarf that we're going to show, and we'll see where we go from there. We might end it at there. That will probably be a little bit, that'll probably be enough after we get through our talk here, as Andrew would say, the talk. Let's see who's with us today. Suzanne, first one in. Thank you so much. Hello, Suzanne, and all the AG Bead fam out there. We're so glad you could join us today. Sorry, I just felt something rough on my arm. I was like, what is that? I don't know. Probably need to moisturize, right? It's getting dry here. We're not in the desert. I'm not in the desert, but it is getting more and more dry, and I can tell. I'm drinking water like crazy. I drank my water today, and I'm still dried out. So, yeah. Hello, Susan. Hello, Facebook user. I don't know who you are today. There may be multiple ones of you. If you go to the video, go to the description of this video, there on Facebook, and you go to the link, streamyard.com/Facebook, and you go to that link and you give StreamYard permission to access your username and photo. That's all they ask. You don't have to give any other permissions. Just they want to see your username and your photo, and then I'll know who you are. Hello, Marianne. Thank you for joining us today. Hello, Norma. Good to see you here. Linda is here. Got the notification this time. Oh, good. That's great. Deborah is here. Hi, everyone from snowy Seneca, Pennsylvania. Hello. Is it up there, Seneca? I feel like it's up there, north of us. Well, hello from Ligonier, Pennsylvania. Glad you could join us here today. Let's see here. How is everybody doing? We hope you're doing well. Hello, Vicky. Thank you for joining us. Linda says, William, did you get my email? I think I did. I remember. I think so. I have to reply back to you. I got it. I checked my email only late last night, and I wasn't able to reply to excuse me, wasn't able to reply to everybody before I decided to grab some dinner and call it a night. So I will get back to you. I've been working on taking pictures today. I'm taking pictures of some of our kits again, and you will start to see these probably populate in the Facebook page and our Instagram page. I'm also going to be sharing them on YouTube in our community tab. And I wanted to retake some pictures because I think some people have not seen most of our kits. And it's kind of, when you look through our kit page, our kits on our website, there are over 100 some kits, I think. Now, some have probably sold out since then, but there are a lot of them. And most of them, the photos we take are usually very organized. And the reason we do that is we want you to see everything that you get in your kit. Some people take pictures of the kits as like a kind of a blob, and it's not as easy to see exactly what you get in the kit. Maybe people like that better. It's a little more artistic. It's a little bit more less structured. And it does sometimes present a little better when it's that way on the website as a first impression of it. And so ours are very orderly, but sometimes I think the first impression of them doesn't spark stuff sometimes. You know, it doesn't spark that, I don't know, because it's so organized. And we've been doing that way since Andrew began making kits way back before we even had a store. He always lined them up and made them very orderly, and I followed suit as we do the pictures now for the online store. But I wanted to retake some pictures of these and share them that are less structured, a little bit more just kind of thrown down, they're a little organized. I didn't just throw them on the table and take a picture, but I wanted to do that because I think seeing them in different ways could bring more attention to them and hopefully help you find more inspiration that way than if you were just looking through a list of kits on our website. So hopefully that'll give some more inspiration. I took a number of those today and started working on making the posts and scheduling them out. So that was one thing I did today. I also created a new short here on YouTube. We haven't done a lot of shorts lately, but I'm trying to make ideas in my head for different shorts that we can do. And I know shorts, they can only be a minute long at the longest. I wanted to do Andrew's travelogues as shorts, but they're too long. You can only do a minute. So I'm trying to think of things that we can show you in a minute and different ways that we can show them to you without being too boring or too, structured. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out. But the short I did today was kind of an introduction to Allegory Gallery for those who start on our YouTube channel and don't know who we are or what we are. There was already kind of an introduction out there, but I've replaced that one with this new one. I think it's a little bit more personable, this one. So I shared that in our design challenge group and on our Facebook timeline. And if y'all can take a look at it and, give it a like, a thumbs up out there on YouTube land, and maybe a comment to help get it, out into the world a little more, that would be appreciated. Let's see here. Suzanne, I had herbal tea. Herbal tea sounds good. I just had my juice water, and I need more of it because I'm thirsty today. It's dry here. The weather is wet and rainy and snowy, but the air is dry. Hello, Bonnie. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see who else is out there. Hello, Cindy. Thank you for tuning in. Suzanne says it's in the 40s today, but Sunday is supposed to be a bad rain day. We are in, I don't know what we're in. My watch died. That's usually how I tell. I didn't charge it last night and I forgot and it's dead. So I don't know what temperature it is. I usually look at my watch for the temperature. I'm going to say it's in the mid 30s because it was just snowing and now it's kind of stopped and turned a little bit to rain. So it must be above freezing a little bit. Deborah says 70 miles south of Erie. Okay, nice. I thought it was a little bit north of us there. I haven't been there. I don't think I've ever been there. I've been to, I think it's Seneca, New York, right? There's a Seneca for Seneca Lake. I've been there, but I've not been Seneca, Pennsylvania. Let's see here. Whoops. Marianne says it's supposed to get cold and snowy for a few days, still sunny and 41 degrees Fahrenheit today. Nice. You're probably around where we are today. It's probably mid 30s to low 40s. It was a nice day. It was snowing a lot and it's been windy. The wind is the thing that they're talking about might pick up a lot here, is what I've heard. And so that can get scary when the wind gets crazy. If we have Star Cottage Studio, it's near the wood line. So last time there was a big windstorm, Star Cottage got a lot of heavy limbs knocked down on the roof. Luckily we have a metal roof and it didn't penetrate the metal roof, but we always get a little bit worried when they talk about wind happening. There's a lot of old trees. They're technically in the neighbor's property, but we don't like to cause too many problems with the neighbors. So we never like to, and we believe it's an older couple. So as long as there's no real damage done, we try to just clean things up ourselves. No use hassling other people if you don't have to and all that. So we always get a little nervous though because they're old trees and when the talk of the wind happens. So I will be going over to Star Cottage Studio tonight to make sure nothing happened during the day. If it's probably not going to be light by the time I leave. So I'll be going up anyway, and I'll try and see what I can see here in the nighttime, but I'll also be going up tomorrow morning to check on things there too. And if you don't know, Star Cottage Studio is our jewelry studio and where we do most of our filming when I'm not filming here in the store or in my home office. It's like Okay, maybe it's not most of the filming then, but especially now, when we had more help in the store, I was able to get over to Star Cottage Studio more often to do these lives. But because we close the store at 5 and we begin our live here normally around 5, I don't have the time to drive up there, which is another 15 to 20 minutes from here. So that's why Andrew and I keep talking about we might adjust our live at 5 time. We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, it's our jewelry making studio. We also ship from there. That's where all of your orders are shipped from. We have a bead room and a filming studio there. And I call it a filming studio. It's a table with some lights, y'all. Like, this isn't fancy. We're not crazy fancy. It's a table with some lights, and it's in the bead room. Once we get the upstairs reinforced a little bit, we will probably start moving some of the filming upstairs. I think there's more light up there. There's a larger area that we can use up there. So that's to come down the road. Hopefully we're still here to make that change. So yeah, things are going, things are progressing. But if you would like to support us at Star Cottage Studio, we have a Patreon. So patreon.com/Star Cottage Studio, and you can sign up for our Patreon. All the money that we get from the Patreon, Andrew tries to update that as much as possible with new things and keep everyone up to date of the things going on there at Star Cottage Studio. But all the money that we get from that Patreon gets invested back into Star Cottage Studio. One time we bought all new light bulbs because they were old incandescent light bulbs or whatever. I guess that's what they're called. We got all LEDs to try and cut down on the electric bill. We bought a new, we call it a weed whacker. I don't know what y'all call. I don't know if that's what you all call it. It's a weed whacker to us because our old one there died, so we were able to replenish or replace that one. So all that money, even though it's a little bit per month, the more people sign up, the more things we can do there with that. But we do appreciate all our Patreons out there who are helping us every month. And it helps keep the jewelry studio running. And we're talking about possibly this year offering more classes there in ring making, soldering, enameling, things like that, metalworking. So that will also help. If you sign up for the Patreon, that will go toward working to get that all set up and up and running. And we may also offer open studio time for people who don't have access to the machines. We're very lucky that we're able to have access, and we've been able to purchase these. Still paying on some of them though, but at least we have them and we're able to use them. And so we want, it's very important for us to give back. It has always been a part of our mission to always give back to the community as much as we can. Some years are better than others, but we're talking about opening it up for open studio time for people who are less fortunate or who don't have access to the kind of machinery that you need to make enamel or, make a metal bowl. So that's, we're working all that out. COVID is a big thing though. To invite someone into your personal space, we have to make sure that people know how to use the machinery properly and that everyone's protected, and that, both from things that could happen when you're working with metal and flame, a lot of things can happen. So we need to make sure that's all okay, and we need to look into a lot of that for our insurance purposes for other people. And so there's a lot that goes into it, but we're looking at it, and all you Patreons out there who are subscribed to our Patreon with Star Cottage Studio are helping us get there. So we thank you so much for that. You can find Star Cottage Studio on Facebook, and you can find the Patreon, patreon.com/Star Cottage Studio. All right, let's see here. Linda says, I did a short for my channel the other day and managed to get info into 33 seconds. Apparently the shorter the better. Yeah, I could have squeezed, I kept redoing my talk, and I was getting to about the 30-some second mark, and I'm like, but this doesn't say everything really that I want for an introduction to the channel and kind of who we are. So I was like, okay, this is going to be a minute. Whoa, as I almost knock over, sorry everybody, I almost knocked y'all over, sorry about that. So I wanted to make it a little bit longer, and I figure, you know, some of our shorts are very short. Some of the other ones we've done, I got one that actually got like 1,100 views, which for us is a lot. I know for some channels that's nothing, but I don't know why it caught on like it did. But it was about check glass. I don't know, but that was a little bit shorter, I think, too. Let's see here. Facebook users joining in. Thank you so much, whoever you are out there. If you click the link in our description on Facebook, streamyard.com/Facebook, you can go right there too. It'll allow us to see your name and your picture. Bonnie says, deep freeze, but sunny here. That's good. That's good. Susan says, cold, about 32 degrees Fahrenheit here, but the sun is out in full force. It's most welcome. Yeah, that sun is nice, right? That sun is nice. Deborah says, it's 70 miles north of Pittsburgh is Seneca. We are about 60 miles east of Pittsburgh. 60 miles east of Pittsburgh. So it's nice. Pittsburgh, got Pennsylvania people out here, right? Marion says it's 33 in Ligonier. Thank you. 33. See? Thought. See, I was a little bit high even. I went out. I closed the store for like 10 minutes today, and I took a walk. I was doing a lot of stuff on the computer, and my eyes were starting to get a little bugged out, and my brain was starting to get fried. So I went and I took a little walk today. It was a little snowy, but I bundled up. I had a hoodie on, and I had my coat on, and I just got out a little bit. And there's a lot of stuff going on between here and my other job. There's some stuff happening at my other job that is going to put some more pressure on me. So I needed to, you know, I was talking about it and discussing it with people, and I just needed to decompress. So I took a little walk today, and that was nice. Even though it was chilly, I like the cold. I don't mind so much. You know, no one likes to be cold. You don't like to be cold, right? Most people don't like to be cold, but I don't mind the cold, you know? Like if I just have to be cold for a little while, I don't mind that. I would much prefer to be cold, go outside for a little bit, be cold, come in, warm up, than to go outside and it be hot. It's not my thing. It's not my thing, y'all. That's why if we have an Allegory Gallery West, we need to come east in the summer, even though our summer is hot and humid. I don't know if I could handle the desert. I don't know if I could handle the desert. Hello, Lorraine. Thank you for tuning in. Norma says, we were windy yesterday and supposed to be again tomorrow. Yeah, I think our wind's coming tonight into tomorrow. So that's what I'm concerned about. I got to make sure I get up to the cottage to check on that all tomorrow. Linda says, weed whacker is equal to a whipper snipper here in Oz. A whipper snipper. I like that. Yeah, whipper snipper. I'm going to start calling it that here. Bring a little bit of Oz to Pennsylvania, maybe. A whipper snipper. That's cool. Marianne says, but do you really want to live in a town called Truth or Consequences? I don't see why not. I tell the truth all the time. I don't need the consequences because I tell the truth. So hopefully the consequences of the truth are hopefully good. Yeah, I don't think we'd have a problem with that. I do kind of like that name a lot, actually. Hello, good evening, Facebook user. And another Facebook user, thank you for joining us. Again, if you go to streamyard.com/Facebook, I'll be able to see your name. Hello, I'm sorry, Pamish. I'm sorry if I'm just massacring your name. P-A-M-I-J, Pamish. If you write it out phonetically, I'll try and remember how to do it, how to say it. But thank you for joining us. Good to see you here today. Linda says, I don't talk in mine, I just demo. Yeah, I don't do a lot of demoing. Andrew is the demo person generally. So I do the talking. So you'll see me talking on mine mostly. Suzanne says, I'm not going to any parades due to the new strain of COVID. Is there a new strain? Like new? I have not been looking at the news lately, which is good and bad. I'm kind of sheltering myself a little bit. I'm already anxious enough about, finances between here and Tucson and all that. So I don't need to look at the news necessarily, which I know is bad, but your head in the sand is not always the best thing, but some days it's necessary for me. My anxiety can get out of control sometimes. And I do take stuff for it. So, public service announcement. If you have anxiety, talk to your doctor, right? It can help. It definitely helps me. And I know if I've missed a dose of mine, I can definitely tell. So, yeah, anyway, if you have it, talk to your doctor. Something can maybe be done. Um, and don't be afraid. I didn't want to talk to my doctor. I could fix this. I was one of those people. I am one of those people. Like, I'll do it myself. Um, I don't ask for help unless I've exhausted in any way trying to figure it out myself. And Andrew's like, just go to your doctor and tell them. So I did, and it helped. Anyway, hello, Michelle. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see here. Bonnie says, good for you, William. So important. I think you were talking about the walk there. Yes, it's good to get out. Good to just separate myself. I don't, Andrew and I both work so much. And I think anybody who has a small business can relate to this in general. We work so much. And, we love what we do. And so sometimes work doesn't feel like work, but it's work, right? And so sometimes we forget that you need to stand up and go take a walk outside and how important nature is. And, you need to give yourself breaks and you need to eat. I don't eat enough, I know. So, I'm trying to be better about that, especially as I'm getting older. Hopefully I continue to get older and continue to get older. But, I know what my mom went through. I know the things that my grandparents went through as they got older. I know what's in our family, which our family is pretty strong in general, but we have a lot of autoimmune stuff. And so stress and not taking care of ourselves can play into that. So I'm trying to be better. Hello, Harry. And I would recommend that all of you take a walk once in a while if you can, if you're able, and enjoy it, because I enjoyed it today, even though it was like less than 10 minutes. It still helped me. Susan said, it's not the heat that I detest, it's the humidity. It's true. I don't know if I could be in the desert, because the desert heat, that gets hot. But it's not humid. And the humidity, I feel like it's hard to breathe, and it can be like you're trying to breathe in extra. So I don't know, maybe the desert would be fine. Maybe I'd be okay in the desert in the heat. But I know there aren't as many trees like trees we have here. So shade, pale, don't know about that. Don't know about that. Marion says low temps are not always bad. No, they're not. Says, call me Pam. Okay, I can do that. Hello, Pam. Thank you for joining in. It's very important to me to try to get names right. It has always been important to me. I remember being in high school and I had some friends and their names were like, people didn't spell their names right most of the time or pronounce them right. And I always made a point to ask people, like, how do you pronounce your name? And how do you spell your name? And I would try and learn the spellings. Language is a very important thing to me. I studied languages in college. It's very important. A name is who you are, right? A name is who you are. So it's one of those things that I believe it's an important thing. So I try to get it right. I know I mess up sometimes, but I try. I try. Let's see here. Let's see. Suzanne says it's in New Orleans, the new strain. I don't like that talk. I don't like that talk for you, and I don't like that talk for what's possibly coming. I don't like that at all. Let's see here. Marion says, it is a cute name for a town, much better than hell, right? And there are a lot of hells around, especially in the US, I know. There are a number of them, so yeah. Marion says, it's a recent strain, really. See, I don't like that. I don't like that. Bonnie says, if I don't eat, I get hangry. I can get hangry. Andrew has been able to start telling when I'm hangry. But because we're so close and we do everything together pretty much, sometimes we don't recognize the hangry versus the just angry. No, he has gotten to know very well when I'm getting hangry. So Yeah, I can get hangry too, but you know, we're used to not eating much. We eat dinner, and then that dinner gets extended for a number of hours. So that's kind of how we eat, and how I've always eaten a lot of my life. And so I don't get hangry very often, but once I do, it's like I need food like immediately. Like nothing is going to happen after that point. I'm not only going to be angry, I'm going to be like non-functional at that point. So yeah. Linda says, I wish I could go for a walk. I used to walk 10K a day until I fell on my backside. Now I have two protruding discs. Ah, yikes. That's no fun. That can't be any fun at all. Um, I've never had anything like that. I broke my leg when I was young. Um, so kind of no, but yeah, I feel for you. It's not easy. Now 10K a day, that's a lot. I wish I could do that. Um, I could do that. I just don't. I've been watching videos a lot on YouTube about motivation, um, and how you're not supposed to wait for motivation to happen to do things, because that's actually kind of like a false sense of security that you're going to wait for the motivation to happen, and when you're motivated you're going to do all this stuff, and they're like, don't wait, just do the stuff, and then you'll rewire your brain to start doing the stuff, right? And without having to need the motivation. um, and we motivate ourselves. You know, we're in an era where we motivate ourselves to like things on a screen, right? That's our motivation. That's what the dopamine hit gets you, right? And so we're training ourselels to be motivated by these inane things in some cases. Now you keep liking our stuff, please, um, but yeah, we're you know, when we wait for motivation to happen and we don't just go out there and do things, we've already kind of trained ourselves in a lot of ways to only have motivation for screen time. And so I'm trying to, you know, in this whole project of life and in doing better for myself and for the people around me, um, I'm trying to watch these things and trying to get this in my brain. Like, you don't have to, you know, you don't have to feel like waking up to just wake up in the morning. Like, I have never woken up in the morning and been like truly throughout the day like I should have stayed in bed another hour. Like, you just get up, and once you're up you do stuff, you do all the stuff you need to do, then you can go to bed early if you want to, right? But very rarely do I look at it. I don't know if I've ever really looked at it and been like, I can't make it through my day, I literally needed to have stayed in bed for another hour. Doesn't happen generally. So now I know some people it does. There are a lot of people who have other things going on that they do need that, but you know, I stay in bed another hour and I didn't need to. I could have gotten up and done something, even if it was just like taking it easy, getting ready, right? Making the bed, you know? So I'm trying to do all this stuff. And, you know, I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm trying to let it seep in a little bit. You ever watch things and think you can just let it happen to you by osmosis? That's kind of what's happening. But I'm going to do something with it all, right? Harry says, I walk on an elliptical machine in front of the big TV every morning for 30 minutes. That's good. That's good. I have a little weight bench kind of thing in my house, and it has the resistance bands, and I can exercise with it. And I said, I'm going to start exercising again because it made me feel a lot better. I had a lot less aches and pains. Um, and, you know, I have issues with my neck because I have slight scoliosis, which I had, I think it happened probably, maybe when I broke my leg. I think possibly one leg is slightly shorter by just a little bit. And so I think that's what may have caused that. So I do have neck and back issues. Plus, I'm always tense because I'm anxious and tense most of the time. Um, so exercise is good for you for that, and building strength is good for that. And I do feel better when I do it. So I just need to do it. You know, I keep waiting for motivation, and I need to not wait for that motivation. That's what I'm learning. Linda says, go Harry, right? That's good. Hello, Susie. Marion said, that's sad, Linda. I walk outside every day, spring, summer, and fall, and indoors in the winter. I have a really beautiful park minutes from my apartment. We have a lot of beautiful parks here. I should just go out and walk in the park, walk downtown, because our house is not far from downtown. It's a few blocks, and just walk around. But do I do that? No, because I'm always rushing. So that's the thing. Morning routine, I'm working on it, trying to slowly get up earlier and earlier. And just start doing things that I need to do in the mornings. So we're going to try it. Susan said, that's why I look at the sunrise and sunset each day. Stress reliever. Day is okay for walking in my hood. Night can be iffy sometimes. I get it. We're very lucky. We're in a small town and we can walk pretty much at any hour and feel okay. Like Andrew will walk at 4 in the morning. 3 or 4 in the morning when he needs his break, and he'll sometimes go out and walk. And at first you never know, but he's been okay, and he actually likes that time before all the morning people start coming out and driving, and because driving can get crazy, even in a small town. Drivers can get a little bit crazy sometimes. Hello, Amanda. Thank you for tuning in. Michelle says, my husband can tell when I'm hangry too, LOL, right? Yeah. Michelle says, I am diabetic, so it really shows. Oh, yes, you need to eat properly, right? You definitely need to eat properly. Marion says, I graze. I can be a grazer too. That is one thing. If there is food available, see, here's the thing. I don't make food for myself for breakfast or for lunch, but if there is food sitting in front of me, I will graze on it. I will eat it. If people bring stuff in for classes, I'm going to be there eating. So it's not, breakfast is hard in the very morning because I get a little nauseous if I eat too early after waking up. But if people have food around, I will ultimately at some point start grazing on it. I just don't make it for myself. I need to change that too. Bonnie says, I'm finally noticing that daylight is longer now. I love it. I can work longer. Yeah. Like right now, normally by this time in our video, it's pitch black. It has been for the last month or two. Now it's just now starting to get dark. I can still see the sky through the trees. It's still light. I'm liking this. Michelle says, in my life, waiting for motivation is the equivalent of procrastination. That's exactly what it is. And that's what I'm learning. Because I'm always like, where is my motivation? Why can't I get motivated to, like, even the things I love? Like, I love what we do, but I feel like I need the motivation to do stuff sometimes. And it's like, no, because that's just procrastinating. You're just waiting for something that may or may not come depending on your anxiety and your mood. But if you just do the stuff, you'll probably get through a lot of the anxiety you have because you're working on what you're worried about instead of just worrying about it over and over and making it worse and worse, right? Let's see here. Where am I? Oh, sorry, I skipped. Linda says, I'm a morning person too. I was up at 5 a.m. this morning. I wish. I watched a YouTube video today while I was taking pictures of the kits, and this guy was starting to get up at 5 a.m. every day for 30 days. I watch a lot of these kinds of things because it helps me to see other people doing these things, because especially people who claim they're night people, to see them doing it, because it's like, maybe I could do that. But 5 a.m., he was getting up at 5 a.m. and he's like, by 8 a.m., I had like everything done. And he's like, I had so much more time in my day. Now we stay up until like 2 or 3 in the morning. But a lot of that, there's only so much that gets done. Like we do a lot of computer work at those early hours. I work for my other job, but I feel like I'm not getting the proper light. I was listening to this podcast with this doctor, I think I talked about this a little bit before, who was a circadian rhythm doctor, dealing with the circadian rhythm in people. And he was talking about that if you do not get enough, 15 to 20 minutes, I think it was, of morning daylight, morning light, Like go out for 15 or 20 minutes in the morning, get that full on light. If you don't get that, you will keep postponing your bedtime. So if you get that morning light, it resets your clock and kind of tells you that you should be going to bed. And the evening light then will help with your falling asleep. But if you're only getting evening light and you're sleeping through the morning light, like I do a lot, if you're sleeping through your morning light, you will continually be on that cycle that you only get the evening light, and that kind of perks you up instead of calming you down. So it was really interesting. It was really interesting. So I'm trying. I want to get up a little bit earlier so I can go take the cats out for a little walk in the backyard and get a little bit of morning light is my goal, so that hopefully I can start readjusting a little bit. And I don't know why I want to do this. I've always been a night person, but I don't know why it's become a big thing in my head that I want to become more of a morning person. But I feel like it's time to try that. Suzanne says, good for you, Linda. I'm not that much of an early riser, more like 7. See, that's probably more 7 to 8 might be more of a goal for me. 5 is going to be exceptionally difficult because I don't go to bed until 2 or 3. And if I go to bed before midnight, I end up sleeping for about 4 hours and then I'm wide awake. Now, if I got up super early, that might not be the case because I'd be tired by then. Anyway. Susan says, I use my simple exercise bike for about 30 minutes every morning. That's great. That's great. Marion says 5 a.m. or earlier every day. See, my grandfather was like that. He would sometimes get up even earlier. But generally 5 to 6, he would get up. He would have some coffee with the dogs. He would eat a few Oreos. And then he would usually take a walk for the paper. His driveway completely around was about a mile. So he would walk that mile to go down and get the paper, and then come back, do some things, and then he'd usually come in and take an afternoon nap. And his nap would be like 45 minutes or an hour or so, and then he'd get up, if even that long, and then he'd get up and do more work. And I kind of like that schedule. I kind of like the idea of that. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh, let's see here. Oops. Harry says, I often wake at 5 or so and get up and feed the cats. They're good alarm clocks with 6 of them to mischief at 5. Up to mischief at 5. Our cats have learned, I've trained them, I think, to sleep in with me. Gilbert gets up, but he doesn't bother me. He's a morning person, I think. But he gets up earlier, and if I get up to go to the bathroom early, he's out and already alert. Barnaby, though, he will sleep until I wake up. Like when I had a migraine the other day at 4 p.m., I was finally getting out of bed. He was finally getting out of bed with me. Now, I do get up and feed them earlier and then go back to bed sometimes, especially with the migraine. But yeah, he will sleep as much as I do, pretty much. Michelle says 8 a.m. is early for me. I go to sleep after 2 a.m. Yeah, the thing is I know my body, and I need between 8 and 9 hours of sleep, sometimes up to 10. I will sleep. So yeah, it's hard for me to get up early because I'm always up so late. I have a hard time waking up, and I have a hard time going back to bed, like actually wanting to go to sleep. Once I'm asleep, I want to stay asleep, but I fight going to sleep and then I fight waking up. It's so weird. Susan said I had enough getting up at 5:30 or 4:30 to 5 a.m. when I worked. Now I sleep until 6 a.m. The fur kids won't allow us to sleep more. Sleeping until 6 sounds so funny to me because I never even see 6 a.m. most of the time. Linda says, yeah, I had all my housework done, washing hung out in the line, showered and dressed. Yeah, these people that I watch. They're like, I got up at 5, by 8 or 9, like my whole day's done. Like, what do I do with the rest of my day? I have all this time now to do stuff. So yeah, it's interesting, especially for us, for we who are self-employed. Like I have to be at the store at a particular time, and I know that. But if we have help and I'm not having to be here, then doing something like that, and you have all this time to experiment and do new things, or it's instead of being pressured to just do what you can get through. Like I feel like I wake up late and then I work fast to try and cram everything in, And even though I'm up late, you know, you can't go out and do things in the real world at 2 a.m. Nobody's open. You can't do any of that. So anything you had to do communications or text people, I try not to text people at like 2 a.m. Just in case their phone buzzes. You know, I don't want to be waking people up. So it's a different thing. So I think that's one of the reasons I'm trying to adjust a little bit. Michelle says, I stay up too late. It's ridiculous. I hate it, but it's another procrastination issue. Yeah, I think mine is too. I will stay up, and even if it's just staying up late and worrying about stuff instead of going to bed. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Susie says, I can easily sleep 12 hours a day, but I'm always up around 8 a.m. That's good. That's good. Let's see. Oops, where am I here? Susan says, I do like the stillness of the night. I live in an urban area, so it's not always quiet. Yeah, I love the night. I love the way the night smells. You know, I grew up in the country. We're still kind of in the country. We're in a small town. I like the air at night. I like being out at the quiet at night. So there is that for me. But the morning's also pretty, too. Bonnie says, my son's cat, wake him up really early. I'm surprised your cats let you sleep. Yeah. Now, Paolo and Babette, when they were alive, they liked to keep me on a time schedule. They used to eat at a certain time. They'd wake me up if I slept in too late. Babette would start tapping my lips to tell me she's ready to eat. But the little ones, they will sleep as much as I sleep. Harry says, I do not need motivation. I am busy doing. I shipped packages, then photographed dolls and jewelry, then walked, made lunch, went out to feed and pet outdoor feral cats. See, that's nice. I think my anxiety takes some of that away, that doing energy. When your brain, they talk about decision fatigue, which is a real thing. And when you're anxious, like the way I'm anxious, you constantly are coming up with new scenarios and you're making decisions about those that aren't even real. So I wear myself out a lot mentally. So I'm trying to get out of that. I'm trying to get out of that box I've put myself in that way. And my brain chemistry has put myself in. Amanda says, when it's freezing cold, I don't want to get up before 7. For me, that's November to the end of April. I get it. Marion says, small changes, William, small but every day. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get up a little bit earlier every day. I'm trying to, you know, do a little something extra every day, you know, adding something into my day, and just trying to get things, you know, organized. Get up at 5:30, says the Facebook user, to get my daughter off to school, then work on jewelry orders 10 to 2. Nice. That's nice. That's me too, says Suzanne. Norma says, I feed the cats at 6 a.m., then go back to bed until 8:30. I'm a night person until 2 or 3 a.m. Yeah, and that's something I have to think about. If I'm going to be getting up earlier, I have to, I think, build in nap time. I think that's one of those things. I think I have to build in a nap time, maybe. Jermaine says, go back to bed. If I go to bed before midnight and wake up in 4 hours, there is no going back to bed. I will be up until like 6 or 7 a.m. and then I'll start to crash, which is no good. No good for anybody. Cindy says, being an Army veteran, it's hard for me to sleep since we were up at all hours, sometimes for days. However, at the moment, I get up at 7 a.m. with my granddaughter and get her ready for school. Well, that's great. And thank you for your service, too. Let's see here. Where are we? Marion says, but cats sleep a lot more than people. They do. They do. They sleep a lot. And our cats sleep a lot. Linda says, William, I live in a rural area and smell in the air around here is not always good with farms using fertilizer and other stinky stuff. Yeah, that can be true too. We have some farms and there are days when you know they've laid down the fertilizer. It just pervades the entire town. There's no getting away from it. Everyone closes the windows and if they can, they shut off the air conditioners and you just live in your house because it's pretty dang stinky. So I get it. But most of the time that doesn't happen and the night air smells pretty good around here. Amanda says, my husband is a morning person. I am not. It's annoying, right? Yeah, it can be. At least Andrew and I are both night people, and I think if I switch to morning, it's going to possibly interrupt his routine a little bit because he stays up later than me, and then he goes to sleep when I get up usually for work. So it might have some, we have to figure that out. I just heard music playing. I don't know where it's coming from. Marion says, live the rune Wunjo. I don't know what that rune is exactly. I'm not up on my runes as much as I should be. I like runes. I would like to learn how to read them more. Michelle says, William, I'm the same. My mind goes over every scenario known to man about things that may never even happen. I think it has to do with my ADD. What if, what if, what if? My husband gets so frustrated. I feel you, like deeply feel you. People who don't have it don't understand. And it's hard. It's not something other people should have to understand, but it does annoy other people. And I know that I'm like, that's part of the worry when I'm doing this, is that I know I'm annoying other people. But yes, every scenario about every possible thing. A lot of people will think back of something stupid they did in high school or something, and you always have that one or two things that you think back on and being like, that was so, why did I do that? Why didn't I say this? Or why didn't I do that? That's like life every day. Every single thing you do has 80 checks that you have to take a look at, and it's exhausting. And I don't know if I have ADD or ADHD. I was never diagnosed as a child. But I think I was high functioning. I do think I have it. I believe I haven't been tested. I should be tested, I believe. But I think I was high functioning enough as a child that it didn't. I didn't have so much of the attention deficit, because I was able to find ways to succeed in things. But my areas in life, my room was always a mess. I knew where things were, but there was no. I have a lot of tendencies from that I read about ADHD. Let's see here. Linda says, the other way around here, Amanda, my husband likes to stay up late and sleep in. It annoys the crap out of me, right? Let's see here. Who is Facebook user? Will, please tell Andrew to get nice beads from the show that we would love. Check or glass to go with amethyst, and good afternoon all. I don't know who you are. But he will definitely be getting nice beads from the show. To go with the amethyst, there's lots of things that go with amethyst. There's lots of things we already have that go with amethyst. But yeah, and that's something. One of the reasons I am not showing you more check glass today is that Andrew's working out a deal. I think we're going to have a trunk show shipped to the store, and I'm going to do a trunk show here from some of his contacts in Tucson already that he's working with. So I cut out the check glass showing. I don't want you all check glassed out before we get this beautiful trunk show. So I think it's going to be on its way soon. And once it is, we're going to have so many goodies. I can't wait. So that's a little heads up for all of you out there who love check glass. Save up, because we're going to have a brilliant trunk show, I think, coming up. I don't know when it's going to get here. I don't know when Andrew's working out details, but he's already been in touch with people before he even gets to Tucson. He's been talking with them. So I think we're going to have some good stuff. I think he's going to work on picking stuff out and sending it this way so that we can do a trunk show, which I think is great. Jermaine says, I'm not a morning person, but I do have to admit that if I have a morning appointment, it does feel good to be out and earlier in the day. Now, I don't get out of the house, if at all, before 3 or so. Yeah, that's the thing. And I think that's why I want to be a morning person, or I want to try it. Because when I do have to get up early, like you said, for an appointment or anything, I realize how much more time I feel like I have. I know I still have the time at the end of the day, and I know I'm going to be tired at the end of the day if I get up earlier, but it just makes the day feel longer. I think the daylight has something to do with that. Crazy, right? That the daylight makes the day feel longer. Bonnie says, I can't nap. It drives me crazy. My husband can fall asleep anywhere, anytime. Yeah, my naps, when I say nap, my nap's usually 3 hours long. If I have a nap less than 2 to 3 hours, I am cranky, because usually, like, I'm not one of those people that can just lay my head down and like pass out for 20 minutes. I will lay my head down and it will take me 20 to 40 minutes to fall asleep, even if I'm tired. Um, so yeah, I get it. I get it. Marion says pig farms stink. We don't have a lot of pig farms here. I don't know if we have any pig farms that I can think of around here. I'm sure some of the farms have pigs, but I have heard they can really stink. Yes. Let's see here. Linda says, I live on a duck farm and they smell too much. I've heard that too. Michelle says, I have ADHD, diagnosed at age 4. I kind of wish my mom would have taken me to get diagnosed or looked at, but I think my whole family in a lot of ways has had it, or at least has a lot of symptoms that look like ADHD. So it's just become normal to my family to have some of these issues. And like I said, I may not have it, but I have a lot of things that are characterized in the way that ADHD is. Ava, Motherwell Collection has a booth at the bead show. Tell Andrew to stop by. Oh, he does. He's at that show. That's the show he's at. And we're good friends with Ava. So yeah, she always has beautiful things. And so Andrew is at her show. She runs the whole bead show. And so he not only will be there, I'm sure he'll be doing lives from there, and I'm sure he'll grab some stuff, possibly. We'll see. We've done a trunk show or two with her as well in the past. So who knows? Who knows what may come out of it? Mary says, quit procrastinating and find out. See? Sometimes the procrastination, sometimes it's scary to find out, right? That's my anxiety. I mean, oops, they don't smell too much. Oh, ducks don't smell too much. That's good. That's good. Anissa says, it's me, Anissa. Now I see your face. Now your face is, and your name is popping up. Helen says, if you aren't hyperactive, then it's easier to overlook ADD children and adults. And that's what it is. I was not a hyperactive child, but like I had no concern for, like, my room was always a mess. And there are other, like, as I read things about people with ADHD and just kind of now, like, I interrupt people when they're talking, because if I don't, I will forget what I was going to say to them. Like, that's another sign that a lot of people take as a sign of having ADHD or ADD. But I do a lot of the things that people with ADHD generally do. And I don't know that I would take anything even if I were diagnosed. So that's the other thing. But my brother very much had hyperactivity. My mom, she still talks about it now. Like, she could not sit by herself reading to him without him, like, being upside down on the couch. And he, to this day, he still likes, like, fidget toys, like fidget spinners and things like that, to keep him from, just fidgeting in other ways. So, but I didn't have that. I was pretty calm as a kid, but I had a lot of other things. So yeah. And let's see here. Michelle says, I liken my mind to a fly trapped in a lampshade. I'm working hard on staying on task, even making jewelry. I'm trying to get to bed earlier. We will compare notes, right? Yeah. I'm trying to journal more. I'm trying to write things down and make lists more, so that I can get my brain out on paper. I found that has helped some with my anxiety. Just, a lot of my anxiety is caused by what do I need to do, and having confusion and not actually getting it out anywhere. So I'm trying to do that too. So comparing notes, I'm making notes more often now. This says, me too, can't sleep during the days. I could fall asleep during the day, no problem, but I do take a long time to fall asleep generally. Marianne says, now how to save up is on my mind. I can't do without some food, right? Yeah, right. Amanda says, Andrew's amazing. He's already got things. I know, he's working on deals already. It's insane. So And remember, I do want to say, Desert Discoveries packages ends tomorrow night at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. So if you want to get a Desert Discoveries package, I know some people have bought one before and they're even adding more. We will combine those totals, but be sure you get it before it ends if you want something. So what you're doing, Desert Discoveries, you'll see $35, but there's a little caret beside that. I call it a caret. It's a drop-down menu. Click on that, and you'll see all the way up to $1,000 that you can buy a package. That's the retail price that we're going to get you something for in Tucson. So if you select the $750 package or the $1,000 package, you will have more input on the kind of things you want. And the reason we do that is not to be exclusive or anything like that. It's just we are short on time. So if you're spending $700 or $1,000, $750 or $1,000, we're assuming that you're probably buying for a business and you have very particular things in mind that you want or need. Otherwise, the other packages that you can select are going to be mystery surprises for you. We'll find you good things in Tucson. So what you're doing is you're paying for the retail price. We're going to buy stuff and we're going to fulfill that retail idea, that retail price for you using that. Let's see here. Whoops. Skipped. Cindy says ducks don't smell, but a freaking mess. Oh boy. Vicky says some things can be learned from other siblings. Possibly. But I did not learn my messiness. I didn't learn cutting people off when they're talking. Like there are certain things I just did not pick up. He doesn't do that. He's very polite. I'm polite too, but he's very soft-spoken. So he would never, put something out while somebody else is talking. But I find myself doing that. And I have friends who have ADHD and they do that. When we interrupt each other, we just stop and we know what's going on. But when I'm talking with somebody who has ADHD, it's actually kind of nice sometimes because we will interrupt each other and not, find it offensive because we know what's going on. Says you may not have ADHD but learn behaviors. It's possible, but like I said, my brother and I are like completely different people. He likes to be athletic. He played a lot of sports. He's into doing things more with his hands and trade kind of stuff. And I was never that as a kid, really. So maybe, but and some things I'm not going to say no. It's possible. I would never say it's not possible. Marion says geese are even messier than ducks. We had a goose growing up that kind of adopted us. We lived on a lake, a small lake, kind of a large pond, but there was a goose that we think lost his mate and just lived with us year round, never even flew away in winter. And it was mean. We called him Lefty, him or her, we don't know. Called it Lefty because we feel like he was left behind. But my mom would feed him and make sure it was okay. But he would attack people. He would attack her even with food. And he was messy, a lot of poop everywhere. Yeah. But I never, held the meanness sometimes against him because I'm like, probably maybe lost his mate, maybe, life is a little bit difficult. So, it might make me a little bit mean too if that ever happened. Let's see here. I gotta get to the end of these comments and then we're gonna actually start looking at stuff. Sorry, I'm just chatting away. I hope you don't mind. I know most of you don't mind, but I know it's been an hour. Like we gotta get moving here, right? Suzanne says, now I don't know if I should get a Desert Discoveries package or wait. Decisions, right? Don't know, but the time to get it ends tomorrow night. So that's all I can say. You got to make that decision for yourself. But the Desert Discoveries package also gets you in on anything that Andrew is trying to sell from Tucson. So you get that extra advanced look at anything. Now, I don't know how much he's going to have. It may be little, maybe a lot. I don't know. But it will give you that extra look at things. So that gets you the ticket in. Otherwise, you got to wait to see what comes back. And like I said, this trunk show is going to be check glass, but it's only going to be check glass. There's nothing else in the trunk show. So that's possibly on its way to us. We're still making things happen, but yeah. So Desert Discoveries, mostly probably going to be a lot of gemstones is my guess. Maybe African beads, gemstones in the mystery kind of Desert Discoveries packages. So if that's what you're more tailored toward, Desert Discoveries is probably more for you. But if you want to wait and see what's in the check glass trunk show, you got that too. And of course, anything that doesn't sell early will come back with us anyway too. Susan says, in my honest opinion, one can never have enough check glass or beads in general. Truth. Truth. We love check glass. Let's see here. Michelle says, I do that too. I hate that I do it. I'm not sure what you're doing, but there's a lot of things I've been talking about that I hate that I do. Let's see here. Whoops. People talking about ducks and geese. We're going to skip those comments because other than geese make good watchdogs, I believe it. I believe it. I have never seen grown men like who work out and, you know, who normally would scare other humans run as fast as they did at a goose coming at them like neck level, flying at them. Fun times. Great guard dogs, yes. Let's see here. Linda says, I adore check glass, right? Me too. Bonnie says, I just hope my husband doesn't serve me papers due to my bead obsession. When you get with a beader or a jewelry maker or a crafter in general, you have to know those things, right? You have to know. But hey, that's what I'm trying. It's just money, right? Just money. I try and tell myself that when we're struggling. It's just money. It's just a made up thing that, you know, we as humans made up to make some sense of things. But yeah, you know, I think about that a lot too. Like money is just a made up thing. Like it helps cultures and civilizations do things, but in the end, it's a made up concept. Like there are societies that function without it just fine. Yeah, I try and keep that in my mind. It helps a little bit with my anxiety. Let's see here. She says, LOL, just kidding, right? Michelle says, I interrupt people while talking. It drives my husband crazy. Yeah, I do it all the time. And I'm sure it drives people crazy. Probably drives Andrew crazy while he's watching me do it. But I will forget what I'm thinking of. And I'm usually so excited to have some input on what, like I'm not doing it out of, you know, to be mean. I actually am excited that I have input to share with somebody about what they're talking about. So when somebody interrupts me about something I'm talking about, like not to change the subject, I never interrupt to change the subject, but I interrupt to say something to add an additional comment to what they're saying, or hopefully add value to what they're saying and get on the same page with somebody, but it's still interrupting because it's still, I will literally forget it if I don't say it right at that moment. Marion says, geese can really hurt you. Yeah, my mom has had gigantic black and blue. The geese, they pick at you and then they twist their heads and it twists your skin and gives you these giant black and blue marks. And then they beat their wings against you. So my mom got bit one time, twisted his head, and then she went to try and push him away and he started beating his wings, which these wing bones are very hard. And then she ended up with bruised arms as well as a bruised leg. There, she still took care of him. She still took care of him though. So yeah, this is a Canada goose. They attack people, especially when they are nesting. The university by me has a goose attack map. Yeah, this was a Canadian goose. And it was by itself. Don't know why, but never really socialized with other geese. Was always by itself. Stayed all winter here. And this is when winters were bad. Still stayed the winter. We would turn, at first we turned one, we had a little paddle boat, like, and we would turn the boat over and prop it up a little bit and build things around it so that he could go inside and be warmer. And then I think at one point we actually built a little house down there because he stayed for a number of years. But they can be mean. They can be mean. But my mom's a good person, and no matter how mean that goose got, she took care of it until it left. So anyway, okay, let's start showing you stuff. It's like an hour and 10 minutes. But I've had a good time talking with you all. Even though I'm doing the talking, y'all are commenting. I hope you enjoy this. I like this part of things. I get to the point where I have to show you stuff, and I'm like, do I really have to? Like, can we just chat all day? But I have to because I said I would. So we're going to take a look at some things, mostly kind of textile things. Deborah says hyperactivity can be that you think faster than you can talk, and that's a part of ADHD. A huge calendar on the fridge and a pen and pad next to the bed. That's more me. That's always been more me. I have a hard time. I get very frustrated. Like, I'm glad that I can type on a computer now, because I always got very frustrated trying to take notes because I could never keep up with my brain. And my talking sometimes can't keep up with my brain. So that's been me all the time. Okay, anyway, let's look at some stuff. We're going to start with let's start with the scarves. How about that? Vicky says, you're an amazing person to listen to. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know about amazing, but I appreciate the sentiment in the comment. And I'm glad you like it. I think I want to do more of these talking sessions over on my William Tries Things page. So if y'all aren't following me there, I'm on YouTube and also on Facebook under William Tries Things. That's where I try and do some of these experiments. I'm going to try and get back into them more this year once the Tucson stuff is over. I'm going to try and be more organized a little bit over there and just hang out and do more of these kind of talking sessions. Maybe that'll get out of my system so I don't do as much here, like an hour and a half worth almost. But I kind of want to hang out with people and just chat and see what people are up to and what they're experimenting on, because the William Tries Things is literally me trying to do things. Trying new things, trying to change habits, to make habits. And that's what the goal is going to be for that channel and that page. So if you want to join me there, just search William Tries Things. I think I'm on Instagram, and I tried to get all the places because we always do. So I'm definitely going to be doing that on YouTube and on Facebook. So I hope you'll join me there and hang out with me and try new things with me. And if not, just hang out and chat with me. So that's part of trying to get my year and my morning and my morning routine and an evening routine. I'm trying to get all that set up. And Andrew being away is possibly giving me that opportunity. I'm still a little bit worn out from getting ready for Tucson, so I'm just kind of finally getting into a better normal flow. But it's always easier, I think, to make changes on your own that don't affect other people. So while Andrew's away, I'm going to try and make some of these changes and then share them hopefully on William Tries Things and talk with everybody and get all this going so that I can, when he comes back, I'll have my routine set up a little bit better, and it'll be less easy to break that routine because I'll have had it set up for a few weeks or a month almost while he's gone. Anyway, let's take a look at some stuff. I'm going to flip this camera around, and I might have to, I don't know, we're going to see if I have to increase the height of the stand or anything like that, because it's one of those things that to show you some of these larger things, sometimes it's a little difficult on camera. And I hope I have enough. I hope I didn't ruin the time by not having enough light in here. By talking, I should show you stuff at the beginning and then chat with you at the end. That way you can see all the stuff. Maybe I will start reversing it. I don't know. Maybe I should jump into showing you stuff, and then anyone who wants to hang out and talk, we can do that. Maybe that's the way we should be doing things. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit backwards. Fran says, hi, William. I was trying to watch and it wouldn't let me. Well, you're just tuning in now. We did an hour and almost a half of talk, and now we're actually showing the thing. So if you're tuning in for what we said we're going to show you today, you're just in time, Fran. You're just in time. So the first thing I'm going to show you are these. So these are large scarves, and these are tie They are made in Thailand. They are 100% cotton. They have these nice little, you know, little things on the end. What do you call those? My mind went blank. That's another thing I do often. My mind goes blank. Anyway, little dingle dangles on the scarf. We'll call them that. And the nice thing about these, they look very light, right? And they are. So they're widely woven. But what I found is we have people, like my mom wears one of these all the time, even in winter, because those little holes, if you fold them up and pack them under your, like in a hoodie or pack them under your coat, then fringe. Thank you, Deborah. Um, it traps in some of that air, right? And you know, air, when it's trapped in, it can get warm and it can stay nice. So that we have it in this color, in this beautiful beige, if you're a beige person. And then we also have them in this kind of pink color, pink with some beige. And actually there's some green. There's some light green in there, which I really like. I like this pink one a lot. I don't know if you can see, that's a bright lime green in with that, and some white. But it's just a pretty, pretty color. Now we have these, and we have those two colors in stock. I don't think, let me see if I have any of the other colors. We had some other colors. I think I do. Aha. They're hidden, hanging hidden. So we also have it in orange. So this is orange with the lime green in it as well. So we have them in the pink, the orange, and the beige. I don't have many orange left. I probably have 3 or 4 of those. And these are only $12, everybody. $12. Deborah says thermal in the winter and cooling in the summer. Wow, nice, right? That's kind of how they work. So you can wear them in the spring, you can wear them in the fall, and you can wear them in the winter. Summer might be a little bit much, depending on where you are. But on a cool summer night, these are perfect. These are perfect on a cool summer night. So today we're showing you our scarves, some of the, we're going to do African indigo mud cloths, and we're going to show you some tote bags, show you some of the things around the store that aren't beads. So that's what we're doing today. So I hope you like these. $12 each. If you want any of those, I didn't put my banner up, so let me put that banner up. If you want any of these, you claim them by just taking a screenshot, or in these, it's easier to take a screenshot, because if you say mud cloth later, I'm not going to know which one. So if you take a screenshot, send us that screenshot, let me know what you want in an email, and we can go ahead and invoice. Bonnie says, I love the orange. Lorraine says, love them. Michelle says, the pink is nice. They are. They're all very nice. The beige, I just don't use the beige because, look, beige on me, not so great. But if you have a different skin tone than me, you might really enjoy the beige. And it's a very good neutral, right? It goes with so much more than some of the other colors do. But on me, beige is not a great color. Beige is not a great color. Now, I do like orange, even though that's not terribly a great color, but pink, I love pink. Pink's a good color for me. So there you go. Lorraine says, how do you take a screenshot with an iPhone? You click the side button, the power button, and the volume up button at the same time. So click the side button and the volume up button. They should be opposite each other if you have a newer iPhone. If you have an older iPhone with a button still, that I think you have to click the button on the home button and the side button. But you might have a newer iPhone. Hopefully you have a newer one, because it's just the volume up and the power button together. So I'll leave these out here a little bit longer if you want to take a screenshot of those and let me know. With these, you can just say you want the tie scarf and the color that you want. And that'll be good enough, even if you can't get a screenshot. Because that is pretty easy. We don't have more than one variety of tie scarves. And we only have those 3 colors. There's not like light orange and dark orange and all that. So there's that. Let me put this back so that I don't tear apart the store, because if I do, I just have to fix it tomorrow. I shouldn't hide these again, really, but I'm kind of hiding them again. But I do need to, you know what, I'm gonna move these ones up. There we go. Move them up a little bit. All right. Okie dokie. Next up, let's look at some African indigo mud cloths. These are from Africa. We get these from an Africa vendor of ours. Ooh. And you can't have this one. This is our in-store one that I use, but this is one of them. But let me show you. Let me show you some of these. Now, I'm not going to unfold them completely, but you will be able to see a lot of the detail without me having to unfold them completely. So this one of my favorite ones, it has mostly orange and blue with the beige, but it has stripes of color. So I said I'm not going to unfold them all, but here I go, because I want to see if there are more colors inside. There's a yellow, there's orange over here, there's a dark red right there, there's that pink, that bright green. What's on the other side? Pretty much the same colors there. Now you will also notice some of these they're all stitched together here. Okay, they're all stitched together, so they are multiple different panels stitched together. They are all hand done. This one is actually has a little bit that needs to be stitched up. I gotta get somebody to stitch that back up because that's coming undone on that one. It actually wasn't stitched well. So it is stitched up. It's safe. It's just open right there because they didn't close that all the way. But that is a beautiful one. I love this one. There are actually a few, that might actually be intentional. There are a few places that it's open. It might be part of what they were doing. But that's one of my favorites. I actually took one that has those multicolor parts to it and use it as a scarf now. Some of these are small enough. They're different sizes. But that one that I took was small enough that I can use it as a scarf. But I like big scarves too. These are each $95, by the way. Bonnie says armhole. I'm not sure because there were 2 or 3 different holes. So maybe, I didn't actually hold it up to see. But just so you know, if you're getting that one, it might have that. Well, it will have that. Unless I find somebody to fix it real quick. Deborah says size. These are hard to tell because they're different sizes and I don't have a ruler with me big enough to do that. But yeah, that's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. I don't know any other way other than possibly holding it up for you. Let me see here. Let me go over here. Can you see that? See, that's the other thing I can't tell when I'm on this side, but hopefully you can kind of see the size of those. Hopefully that helped. All right, so let me fold this one back up. Thank goodness I sold clothing for a number of years. My folding skills are pretty quick. You would think I like to fold laundry, but I do not. I folded enough clothes in my life that I do not like to add laundry to that list nowadays. Oops, almost knocked you all over again. Michelle says that's pretty big. Yeah, they're all pretty large. Here's another one. I love this design. I almost took this one for myself too. It's deep blue. These are indigo cloths, $95 each. African indigo mud cloths. And this one is even, I think, a little bit longer than the last. So let me show you. Try not to knock down the camera again. Now on the other side, it looks like this. So done on one side. But I just love these. I like they're great to throw over your shoulder if you're a little bit chilly. If you're a little bit chilly, it's great to throw over your shoulders. They're big enough for that, like kind of like a poncho or What's the word? See, lost words again. I used to sell clothing. I should know this. Not a scarf. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Throw it over your shoulder. Keep yourself warm on a cool spring or summer night. But aren't those beautiful? Deborah said, your countertops are 36 from the floor to the countertops. I don't know that mine are because we hand built all of those. We hand built those, so they may not quite be that size. Okay, next one. This is a pretty one too. And they do often have the edging that's raw like that. So that's just the way they come. That's the way they are. They have the raw edging on them. This one I feel like almost looks like butterflies. They look like butterflies. And now this one, the one edge has all these beautiful tassels coming off the edge or fringe. And this one I think is quite large. No, it's about the same size as, well, it's about the same size as the last one. Let me show you. So it's like this. And just one of those edges has the fringe. It's just this one edge. But these are all, they're like hand done. I love them. We use them a lot. We used to use them for tablecloths during shows. And of course I use them to photograph on top of, like this one here. Bonnie says they would make great pillow covers. Yeah, you can resew them into other things, I guess, if you wanted to. I couldn't because I don't have those skills, but I'm sure you could. But I don't know if you want to pay $95 for fabric to do that. I think they're great as they are, and I like using them as wraps or shrugs. Shrug, that was the word I was looking for earlier. So this one, I like this one because it's kind of like a jean kind of look more than some of the other ones. Like a jean material. It's a lighter blue. So I think those are cool. They could be sarongs for the beach too, if you're as tall as me, maybe. Could also use them as sarongs at the beach. But I love these, and again, these are each $95. If you see one you like, just take a screenshot and send it to us in an email at info@allegorygallery.com. Here's another style. Sometimes they have writing on them. I don't know what that says. I don't know those words. I don't know that language. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it because I don't want to butcher it. But I think that's really cool. To me, that's kind of like, I don't know what it says, but it kind of is like a designer, like what a designer logo would be like. Like if you had a Louis Vuitton and it had all the LVs, this is kind of, I think, a better, a more cool kind of thing than that to me. But to each their own, right? I have designer bags too, and I got when I was living in New York. Beautiful Yves Saint Laurent bag that I have that I never use because it's leather and I never want to get it wet or dirty. Isn't that the way? That's the way when you don't have money, right? When you can't replace it easily, like us. We have this one. This one's just another simple kind of style. I'm not going to open that one much more because it's the same. It's all the same, just like that. It's the fabric. I'm really not leaving these down long enough for you to take a screenshot probably, so sorry about that. If you want me to go back for any, let me know. You can always replay this video too. And shawl, there's the other word, shrug, shawl, kimono. I don't know if you could make a, I don't know if they're big enough for a kimono. Here's another one of those with those great colors. I think this was all lime and pink in there. Love that one a lot. I tend to like the ones that have more blue, only because the light colors don't look good on me, so I wouldn't wear them as anything, but I do love this pattern. Michelle says would make great table coverings like runners. Yeah, we used to use them, like I said, I think I said, for bead shows, we would use them as our tablecloths. And it gives a really nice look. So here's a nice patterned one. It's that pattern running all the way through. The back side is plain. There, I think you can see. Oh, look at that. See, sometimes you do have to open them up. Look how beautiful that is. Who knew? Who knew that was there? I did when I bought it. I did when I bought it, but I forgot about it. So, let's see, are there any more? I think it's just that one. So that's a nice little touch. That's a nice little touch. I think I'll fold that where that sticks out a little bit better. All right, and last one we have of these is this pattern. Kind of a cross or crosshatch pattern. They're usually plain on one side and decorated on the other. I like this one a lot. This one I considered being mine too, but I have to give them a chance to sell before I take any more. Take any more, that should be. But we do have a number of these that we have in our private collection, in our stash, because we do use them for tablecloths sometimes for shows and whatnot. But we're kind of going with a new style lately. So those are probably going to get turned into like sofa blankets and stuff, which is nice. So there you go. So those are the indigo, African indigo mud cloths. They are $95 each. That's just what they cost. They're a little bit expensive for us to buy most of the time. So I know they're a little bit high, but you know, if you like it, they're worth it. I like them. I think they're worth it. We obviously think they're worth it. We brought them in to sell. So let's see here. My battery's running low again. I took a lot of pictures today earlier, so that always makes my battery run low. So we're going to go through the canvas totes here now. These are totes that have Andrew and Cynthia's artwork on them. I will say they're going to be all Andrews unless I tell you differently. Okay? All Andrews unless I tell you differently. All right. And we get these from Society 6. Andrew does have a Society 6 page. These were assembled in the USA. And these are $24.99 each. If you want any of these, take a screenshot and let me know. We'll send you an invoice. But they're nice. Andrew uses them as his, look, there's a little maple seed in this one from being outside when we had our show. Andrew uses these for his bag, or his purse as he calls it, all the time. All the time. So this is Andrew's original artwork done on the tote bags. So this is his, I think that's a cactus flower raven or crow. I think that's a crow. That beak looks like a crow. Cactus flower crow. And here's another crow. And they are the same on both sides. They're done both sides. Interior is open, but we use these for our bags to keep stuff in and take. Andrew has this with him anytime he leaves the house. He has his most important stuff in it, just like a purse, right? So there's that one. This is some crystal artwork that Andrew did. So you have the crystals here growing in crystal formation. Same on both sides. $24.99 each if you'd like any of these. Okay, this one is Cynthia's. You can tell the difference, I think, in their artwork. This is Cynthia's artwork. And we got a few of her pieces in. And again, these are all assembled in the USA. That's why we use Society 6, even though it's a little bit difficult sometimes. But things are made here, which we appreciate. So this is one, he did some landscapes and some kind of backgrounds. This is one of my favorites. I love this one a lot. It looks like a galaxy or stars exploding. I love it. Michelle says, good for carrying your projects from room to room. You better believe it. When I'm carrying something, when I have all these beads that I'm working on or all this stuff and I want to take it downstairs, it's, I mean, you wouldn't think, but carrying stuff sometimes, you know, I'm always looking for bags. So I love these bags for that too. Here's another one of the backgrounds that he did. And this looks like it's needs to be pressed, but that's actually in the design. So the wrinkles are built in, right? The wrinkles are built into the design on that one. I like this one too because of the pale colors. It's like a sunset or a sunrise. I mainly only see sunsets, so that's what I can talk to, but I like this one a lot too. And then this is another one of his backgrounds. And let's go on to the next batch here. Let me hang these up. And these are, I'm trying to remember the name of this series. They were spirit somethings. Something spirits or spirit somethings. I can't think of it now. But he did these. We still have some of these original pieces available, and we've done prints in these as well. So we have that one. And then we have this one. And again, they are both on the same side. That's why I'm not showing all of them on the same side. Michelle says, that's me hangry. This one? That one, that's you hangry? That's funny. I like that. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that now. This one I like a lot. I love this series he did. With these very graphical lines through the backgrounds. So there's that one. And then there's this one. But wait, y'all, there's more. But wait, there's more. Dream spirits. Thank you, Anne. Anne remembers. They were dream spirits. You're right. Thank you. I think this is one of my very favorite backgrounds. I actually got this bag. We ordered it in because I thought I was going to take it. And then I decided to take a different one. But I really, this is one of my very favorite. I like things that look like the universe in space. I'm very interested in that stuff. Then again, I like this one too. Looks like suns everywhere. Like you're in a planet with 4 suns or something. That'd probably be a very hot planet. Unless they're little or far away, right? Far away suns. And then these are some of the ones he did from photographs of leaves that he, you know, doctored. So I love these for the fall. It always reminds me of fall, and fall is my favoriteest season ever. Bonnie said the last one was Southwest flavor. Kind of, yeah, I could see that. I could see that. This is a picture of actually our bush at our house. So it has the berries and the red leaves. The leaves are green all summer, but then they turn this beautiful bright red as fall comes into being. And they get these beautiful red berries that the birds then eat. And then, of course, we have the abominable snowman with his cocoa cup. Or maybe it's coffee. Could be coffee. Michelle says, oh, I like that red one, right? Isn't it nice? So this was Andrew's artwork. Helen says, I like the cloud one. Nice. I like that cloud one too. The one with the suns that you were talking about, that cloud one. And then we have Andrew's pride crow. And that comes from this original painting. So this is the original painting that we have on the wall, available for purchase as well. That's $215. And then that's the bag created from it. And that was done 1 year during Pride Month. Andrew did the Pride ribbon. It doesn't have to be that, but he called it the Pride Crow, I think, for that, with the crown with the heart, the olive branch. And then last one is one of Cynthia's, mermaids. So that's one of Cynthia's. And they're all available, $24.99 each. These are easy to ship to you because we can pack them up and roll them up and pack them up nice and ship them right out to you. Linda was gone for a bit, had to go to the shop. You can rewind later and watch if you want to. Just showing you some stuff we have in store. Before my battery dies, again, I was taking too many pictures of kits today, and my battery is a little bit weak today, so we are going to flip the camera back around if I can. Uh-oh. There it goes. It's like, this is doing what it did yesterday when it died on me. So hopefully it doesn't die again. So, okay. Hello. How are you all again? Norma says, love that mermaid, right? Isn't it beautiful? So that was the show for today. I could go on and on, but my battery is not going to let me. And I want to have a little bit of a battery since my watch died to go up to the cottage in case the roads are bad. It's starting to get crazy. Are the stars for sale? Yes, the stars are for sale. The pricing is over here. The small stars, so these stars, the small ones, are $2, and the large stars are $4. And they are, we have a number of them. These are hand carved and finished in Indonesia. These are part of the Indonesia stock. So those are available. And we also have hearts, I think. Scratch that. I do have one heart. Just one. We're down to one. We have the one big heart. And that one is $5. All right. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Linda. That's no good. Neighbor has COVID. Hopefully it's not a terrible case. Let's see. Michelle says, I really need to see that pumpkin guy's face. Okay. It's me and Cornelius. Cornelius Pepperpot. Cornelius Pepperpot. He stands guard of the store at night. Normally he sits on our porch and stands guard of the house. We've had him here at the store standing guard. for a little while. So yeah, says I love it. Thank you. So yeah, I don't know why I fell out of breath, but I'm a little bit out of breath. So I'm gonna go. I gotta go up to the cottage and check on things up there, refill our pellets so that they last through the night. And then I think I'm going to go home, and I might take it just a little bit easy tonight. I feel like I'm wearing myself out, but I'm trying to give myself some rest time after a lot of putting in a lot of energy for Tucson and getting Andrew off and ready. So I'm going to go home. I'm going to eat. I'm going to spend some time with the cats tonight, and then I'll probably do some work because I always do some work. So thank you all so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, please send us an email, info@allegorygallery.com. If you'd like to purchase anything. Deborah says, do you have PayPal? Technically we do, but all of the stuff I'm showing you is in-store stock, and it goes through our stock system, which is our inventory system, which is Square. So we generally send Square invoices, but if you have a PayPal debit card or credit card that links to your account, you can use that to pay the invoices. That's what I always try to tell people. And if you shop in our online store, the online store inventory is hooked up to PayPal. But if you absolutely must use PayPal for a limited amount, like I'm not going to do it every order that you place, but once in a while, if you need something, we can try to transfer it over to the other inventory system and send. It's just a little bit messy, but we can make it happen. All right. So thank you so much. Linda says, bye, William. Have a nice rest of your evening. You have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. A good day out there. Take care, everybody. And if you want anything at all from a bead store, you can message us. Even if I've not shown it to you, you can still ask us. We don't show you the soft flex often, but we've got it. So things like that, even if we don't show you things, we are generally a fully stocked bead store. So we generally have a lot of stuff, even if we don't show it to you. So you can always send an email asking for anything. If you place an order in the online store and we don't stock lobster claws in the online store, for example, but if you want some or need some, you can put a note in your order. We look at those notes. And if it says you want silver lobster claws, we'll take a look and see if we've got silver lobster claws, and we can invoice and send them out with your order. All right. So never be afraid to ask us if you want stuff from us. We're happy to try to help you get stuff. Okay. It helps us even every little bit. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. I'm going to go before my phone dies again. Thank you all. And I will see you back here tomorrow for something else. I don't know what yet, but we'll look at something nice or just chat. I don't know. We'll do something tomorrow. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great evening. Bye now.